Today's video is an interview with a lad called Scott. It's purely for educational purposes and to try and educate people against using certain substances. Now, Scott is a good lad. He's a man who I've known from being a child, you know. He's a few years older than me, but he's someone who I've known from a very young age. I probably knew him from around 10 years old. So it's very sad and tragic for me to see the man in the position that he's in today. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. And like I say, this is purely educational. So yeah, guys, we're here today. What's your name, mate?
Scott.
Scott?
Yeah.
So yeah, just tell us about yourself, mate. Where you're from, where you grew up, and how you've ended up living the life what you're living now.
I'm born and bred Wolverhampton, like, you know. They ever expect to be on the streets, to be honest with you. They expect to be where I am now, you know. I had an alright upbringing, to be honest with you. I just went down the wrong path, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so once you're in and out, once you're in this hole, it's hard to get out of it, you know what I mean? Very hard.
What substances is it, what you suffer with and that, Scott?
Heroin, mainly.
Heroin, mainly?
Yeah, mainly. It's the addiction, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The crack's all in the head, you can take it and leave it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
The heroin you need. You know, I won't wish it on my worst enemy.
Yeah. Just take us into a day in your life, Scott. You wake up in the morning, what do you have to do to feed your habit, etc.?
As soon as I open my eyes, first thing you think about is gear.
Yeah.
You know, sort yourself out, you know. Some days you get up and you ain't got nothing, you know what I mean? You have to go out rough, rattling and, you know, it's just one of them, mate, you know. Begging, mainly. I've shoplifted, I've done everything, you know, well, you know, it's just jail all the time, mate.
Yeah, have you ended up being in and out due to shoplifting?
Yeah, I have,
like that?
yeah. I've been to jail for begging as well, like, you know.
Have you?
Yes, believe it or not, 6 times.
Can they send you? I didn't think they could send you to jail for that.
Yeah, they put an order on me, CBO order.
No way.
Yeah, and then even walking across the Sainsbury's car park, I got arrested and sent to jail for it. Just walking across the car park.
That's mad, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is like a lot like discrimination, really, if your face doesn't fit. Like, you know, you're going through a bit of a hard time, so you haven't got access, maybe, to jump in the shower and, you know, like everybody else.
Yeah.
And then people just look at you and judge you.
Yeah.
So obviously, as you know, I've known you for a long time, Scott.
Yeah.
I was homeless myself, so I've actually experienced that, you know, going around, not having anywhere to stay or etc., you know what I mean?
It's hard work, Jake, you know what I mean? Really is, you know. People, like you say, judgmental people.
Yeah.
Look down the nose at you.
Yeah, and it's all right.
It's nice when somebody stops and takes the time to talk to you and listen to your story and listen to your life, how you've got to this point in life, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it humanises me, you know what I mean? It don't make me feel like I'm in the gutter.
Yeah, we're all human beings at the end of the day.
Man,
no one's better than anyone. No. It's like this. A good saying what I like is if you get a £20 note out of the machine, crisp £20 note, or you've got one what you've had screwed up in your pocket for months, they're both worth the same.
Of course you am.
One might look all fresher, cleaner and that, still worth the same. Of course. You know what I mean?
So like all these people driving around in these flash cars and that, half of them are rental cars. They're all only a paycheck away from where I am.
Yeah.
I'm a fully qualified plasterer and a roofer.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, like you say, I've known you years. You'd have never expected me to be where I am now.
No, not at all. I wouldn't have expected to be doing an interview like this with you many years ago, no way.
Sitting on that floor with a sleeping bag over me every day, it's degrading, do you know what I mean? I don't like it, but it's something I have to do to get by in life. Not just for them things, for food, for water, you know what I mean? Like, people buy me shower gels and stuff, you know, and I have to go in the public toilets and have washes and that, you know what I mean? You know, and I get looked at differently for it, you know, like, I'm the same as everybody else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be here forever, you know, but I'll be back on my feet one day.
Yeah,
and I'll be able to stick my middle finger up at them all and say, you know what, I told you I'd do it.
The main thing I think for you to get to that would probably be to beat the addiction.
Yeah, and that's in the process. To see that's on the pipeline as we speak, like, do you know what I mean? I'm sick of it. I'm 36 now, you know, 37, sorry.
Yeah.
And I've had enough. I really have had enough of it all. You know
There's more to life than that, isn't there, Scott? You know what I mean?
Of course it is.
But yeah, when did you? What age is it that you got onto the heroin and stuff?
Well, I first started dabbling when I was about 14, 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when it was heroin then days. You know what I mean? It's ain't nowadays. You know, it's just a load of cut, bashed up shit. But it's still.
It's that fentanyl and that now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's still an addiction. You know what I mean? You still wake up ill. You know what I mean? If you got to think about tomorrow, always have tomorrow in your head. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, you're screwed. You know what I mean?
So yeah, that is actually quite shocking to hear. Like 14, first time dabbling that. When did you end up first, like getting locked up and going to prison and that, Scott?
What for with an habit, like?
Yeah, or just in general.
Well, I was 16 when I first went to prison for violence.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of violence. You know, that was just when, because I never had an habit them days. You know what I mean? But as soon as he got hold of me, I thought I was invincible. You know, and he'll never get me. He'll never. Once he gets you, you don't realise, man. You wake up that one morning and your legs are hurting, you're being sick, and
that's it.
That's when you know, when you have them few lines and it's gone. You know what I mean? You feel you're brand new. Them few lines make me feel like you do when you wake up.
It's
fresh,
normal,
like normal. You know what I mean? You know, but there's a lot of people out there who struggle. You know what I mean? Like I've got some good people who help me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They ain't daft. You know what I mean? They know what you're doing. They know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know, I try not to lie. You know what I mean? I try to be truthful to people. You know.
Yeah.
And like if somebody does give me money who I know, like, and say like buy food, I will go and buy food. Just out of pure respect, like, you know what I mean. I've known them years, like, you know what I mean. But you know, you got to do what you got to do, yeah.
Yeah, of course you have. And it is just bringing it back to what you said before. It is sad, like you were saying, how people judge, because that's one thing what I have said in quite a lot of these videos. Is we're all just one paycheck or one family tragedy away from being in these situations. Because like tomorrow my mum could pass away, like God rest, obviously that doesn't happen, but tomorrow my mum could pass away, I could split up with my girlfriend, and next thing I've got nowhere to live, I'm in a really loud place, and you know what I mean, that's the start of the road, innit? It could happen to anyone, any of us.
That's it, man. And like people tend to get on you, and they'll pretend to take you under the wing and be like, yeah, try a bit of that, man. You know, help you through the night, man. It'll keep you warm, that will. You know what I mean? And you'll have a few lines, and it's a nice feeling, man, because you just forget everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, problems never go away; they're there the next day. You know what I mean? And like I say, once it gets you, it's the devil's drug.
Yeah.
I say to people, man, stay away from it, man. Like I said to you before, I won't wish it on my worst enemy, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's horrible. It's ripped my life to pieces, man. I've lost everything and everyone that ever like cared about me. You know what I mean?
Through that horrible stuff.
But people don't realise, you know, I ain't one of them dirty smackheads. You know what I mean? Because there's two types of addicts. There's an heroin addict and there's a smackhead.
Yeah.
There's a smackhead who'll go around robbing old women for a few quid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you got an heroin addict like me. I had an habit and still worked.
Yeah.
Fed my habit through work. Yeah. I'm doing what I do now, but I ain't harming no one.
Yeah.
No, have a nice day, see you later. You know what I mean? But you know, I class myself as an addict, not a smackhead, and people don't realise that. You know, like, hopefully this will get you through to people now. Like, you know what I mean? We ain't all the same.
Yeah,
you know
no, we're all human
I'll help
beings.
people. You know, if I see somebody who needs help, I'll help them. I'll carry the bags. I'll help them do this, do that. I mean, some people won't. Some people run off for the bags and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a smackhead for you. But, I'll class myself as an addict. You know. Just one of them.
Thanks for that, Scott. So yeah, that's just a brief insight into Scott's life. I have known Scott for a long time, and he is a good lad.